right, everybody, welcome to day 2 of Newton's Revenge. Remember yesterday in part 1 we talked about how to graph this. We collected data, we measured. Those of you who are at home, a little bit different of a lesson, but you should have made some recording. So remember, this roller coaster is so big, fast, and scary that rumors about it are already spreading. Some people are worried about the tunnel that thrills its riders with its low ceiling. The closest the ceiling of the tunnel ever comes to the seat of the roller coaster is 200 centimeters. Although no accidents have been reported yet, it is said that very tall riders have stopped riding it. So our goal in this problem is to decide and determine, is this safe for any rider, no matter how tall? So today we are going to be working on that. Now, for today, you need to go to Google Classroom. So let's go ahead and go there now. In Google Classroom, you are going to notice 2 assignments, okay? Newton's Revenge, the graph, and Newton's Revenge, the data, okay? So Newton's Revenge data, you're going to click on that, and you're going to open up this data sheet, okay? Now, if at any time I am going too fast for you, you need to pause and do what I tell you to do. So, Newton's Revenge, the data. Now, my screen is a little bit different than your Chromebook, but the directions are the same, okay? I highly suggest that as you do this, you open up multiple tabs at the top of your screen. You've got your YouTube page that is giving you directions, and you have your Google Classroom, your Google Sheet, and eventually your Google Drawing all ready to go. So here we go. Step number 1. Click on the word height and highlight the data. Pause the video and highlight your data, just like mine. Okay, now that you have your data highlighted, there are 2 things that you can do. You have an icon that says Insert Chart, or you can go to Insert Chart. Either way, insert your chart. Okay, you should have your chart. If you haven't done so, pause the video, insert your chart. Now, your graph should look like this. And if yours doesn't show up, scroll to the top. It's hiding at the top. Now, as you insert this, there's going to be a chart editor. If you can't see the chart editor, double click on your chart and the chart editor will show up. You need to first of all make sure that it says scatter chart. That is what we are graphing today, and we need to focus on having a scatter chart. Now, as a part of our discussion yesterday, we need to make sure that we have a complete graph with the right set of axes. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the word Customize. Go click on Customize now. Okay, now I'm going to bring up the horizontal axis. I click on the caret and it drops down the horizontal axis. On the horizontal axis, I know that the minimum value from our charts is no less than 150. Notice that it instantaneously changes, okay? Now, I know what our maximum is because I've done this problem before, so I'm going to call my maximum number 230. Pause your video to make sure that your minimum is 150 and your maximum is 230. Okay, now that your graph continues to look like mine, I'm going to make the horizontal axis go up, and now I want to change the vertical axis. Okay, I know that my minimum value is no less than 110. Okay, notice that my chart is instantaneously changing. The maximum value is going to be the height of Newton's Revenge's ceiling, which is 200. Please make sure that your graph matches my graph. Pause the video and make sure it matches. Okay, now we have made our graph. And by the way, when you make a graph digitally, it doesn't matter if you have 10 points of data or if you have 1,000 points of data, it graphs it instantaneously. It's absolutely wonderful. And as long as you are highlighting the information correctly, it graphs it correctly. So what we're going to do is we are going to close the chart editor. Now, what I want you to do is single click on your chart and press Control C. That's copy it. Okay? Control C. You have it copied? Good. Now, go to Google Classroom and open up Newton's Revenge graph. When you open up this Newton's Revenge graph, I want you to please paste the graph on. That is Control V. Control V. Okay? Now what I would like you to do is go ahead and put this graph, this chart, down in the bottom. By the way, when it asks is it pasted linked or unlinked, please choose the one that is paste unlinked. Okay? That is just how I want you to do that. That way nothing will change. Okay? Paste unlinked. Click paste. And when you bring that up, it is going to put it in your drawing, and I want you to scoot it down. Okay? Scoot it down towards the bottom. And what I want you to do is insert a text box. This is the text box icon. And what I want you to do is type this title. Newton's Revenge, is the roller coaster safe for all? Okay? And we are going to ask ourselves, is it safe for all? And to do this problem, is it safe for all, let's read the problem 1-28. Using your ideas from problems 1-27, make your own graph. Check, we did that. To help you determine whether the ride is safe for very tall people. An example of very tall person is Yao Ming, who retired from the NBA in 2011. He was one of the tallest NBA players in NBA history, measuring 7 feet 6 inches. Oh, but we're using the metric system, 228.6. Is the roller coaster safe for him? Explain. Okay, so I'm going to hop over to our graph. There are two pieces of information that I know. I know the ceiling. At the top, I'm going to click on this line icon, and I am going to create a line that represents the ceiling. Now, I'm also going to make this really bold. Let people know, here's the ceiling. Okay? Now, I also know Yao Ming's height. Here's 210, here's 230, 228.6 is really close to that mark. Okay, I make a vertical line. I want this to be red. Yao Ming played for the Houston Rockets, and so we're going to go with red for Houston Rockets. Okay? Now, here's the thing. In this problem, I know the ceiling at the top. I know Yao Ming's height, but I don't know on here where his reach is. Is his reach here? Should his point go here? Should his reach 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 go here? Should it go here? You get the point? Is it up here? What is his reach? We need to predict the future. And this is why we built our trend line. Okay? We are going to use this trend of data, and we are going to determine Yao Ming's reach. So here I go. I'm going to grab another line. Now, oops, let's go ahead and get my mouse back. Come here, mouse. There we go. I'm going to grab this line and I'm going to go ahead and change my color to blue. No, I don't want that. Oh, I want, my apologies. I'm going to create a new line. Do you see this dot in the lower left-hand corner? I really like this dot. I think it's a great place to start. So I want you to start in the same place. Now, I could make this line, but does that line fit the data? I would say no, that does not fit the data. Let me try again. What about this? Does that line fit the data? I would also say no. I think the data, it needs to go through the center. And so I'm going to make a line that goes through the center of this data. Let's go ahead and grab a blue line. Let's make it a little bit thicker. And here's what this says. Go ahead and make sure that your graph matches my own. Okay. Here's what this says. When I look at this trend line that goes through the majority of the data, this is like the average line. You have people that are above the line, you have people that are below the line. Okay? And what we're doing is we're saying, where does our lines, where do they meet? If this is Yao Ming's height and this is our trend, where do those two lines cross? Right here. So this is predicting about, estimating about Yao Ming's reach. So here's what you need to type. The answer to all of this work. Newton's revenge. Is the roller coaster safe for all? Well, according to our class graph, this is the explanation. By saying, according to our class graph, we're looking at the answer. We estimate Yao Ming's reach to be about, I'm not saying the number. You look at that graph. You tell me, what is Yao Ming's reach? It's sitting right in front of you. You just have to read the answer and enter it on the blank. If we know that that is his reach, when he lifts his hands up like so, are his hands going to hit the ceiling? So you need to answer the question. Therefore, he and all very tall riders are or are not. You choose one of those two, safe to ride Newton's Revenge. Now you're going to do a couple things once you finish this. You're going to do a couple things. You are going to write this answer in your math notebook. All this other stuff was digital and you're going to turn it in digitally. But for those of you who are using a math notebook, you also need to write this down on problem 128 on the bottom of lesson 114. This is the answer right here. How tall is Yao Ming? And is it safe or is it not safe to ride Newton's Revenge? Now, when you go to Google Classroom, in Google Classroom, please make sure that on this you go ahead and turn this in. On this sheet, there's usually a blue icon that says turn in. In Google Classroom, when you are on the data sheet and you view the assignment, there's usually off to the side a icon that says turn in. I need both of these assignments turned in for me. Okay? Write it in your notebook, turn them in Google Classroom, both assignments. Okay? Thanks for tuning in to problem 114, part 2. Stay tuned for more lessons coming tomorrow. See you then.